Hey everyone! Woo! Oh, I think I needed this music. Okay, I'm gonna wind down on the music now. Woo! Thank you so much for joining me on Facebook Live. Hello, everybody, and Instagram Live. Today, I just wanted to check in with everyone and talk about what's coming up in the middle of this year for Brave Writer. Thank you for joining me live on a Saturday. It's spectacular weather here in Cincinnati. So wherever you are, if you've got sunshine, I hope we can keep this short and get you out in it. I am thrilled to be here with you. Brave Writer, every single year, selects a new reading literature program for you and your kids. So each year, we select books that go with the ages and stages of development of your children. And those books are distributed over a 10-month period. So when your kids are between the ages of like 8 and 14, there is a book a month that we will recommend that you read. And then we write a literature program to go with that book. And those programs come out monthly. What's really exciting about this year is we are adding a fourth program. So up until now, we've had DART, which is for 8 to 10, Arrow, which is for 11 and 12, and Boomerang for 13 and 14. But now we're adding a program for your 15 to 18-year-olds called the Slingshot. So 4 programs. The only difference between the Slingshot and the other levels is that the books are a lot meatier, so we're only giving you 5 books for the year. They will come out September, and then in November, and then in January, like that, every other month. And the purpose of that is to give your, college prep teens, your kids who are finishing high school, a chance to really dive deep into the literature and feel like they have a good quality read, not rushing through trying to get it done in a month. So today, what I want to do is just go over a few points about how these mechanics and literature programs work. I have one big, exciting surprise announcement. So occasionally, a book will come across our sort of inventory of books. Dawn Smith is our director of publishing, and she does just a phenomenal job of researching all the high quality literature that is available for your kids and you to read. And occasionally we run into a book that is too long to be read in a single month. And we always feel sad about that because it might be a book that we consider is really valuable to read, but we can't seem to squeeze it into just 1 month of the school year. So we came up with a brilliant solution. We are going to release a single issue of The Arrow on June 1st that can be read during June and July. So let's say you're in the Southern Hemisphere. This could be a really fun read for you if you're in the middle of your school year. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, this would make a great book to read as your summer reading for your kids who are anywhere from 14 down to 8 years old or younger. This is going to be produced as an Arrow, and that book is, get ready, I don't have the book, I have a photo. Yes! Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky. Can everybody see that? It is by Kwame Mabalia, and this book is a gorgeous sort of mythological folktale. You're going to absolutely love it. It has been recommended to us countless times by our own Brave Writer community, and so that will be ready for single issue purchase on June 1st. So if you're looking for something really special and brand new to share with your families to get you through the summer or to experience if you are in the Southern Hemisphere over your winter, Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky is a great choice. So there you are on Instagram, Facebook. I'm looking back and forth because I'm doing both at the same time. So that's coming as a single issue. For the year-long programs, we have this exciting experience that we do every single year. We call it the NFL Draft of Books. Ironically, the NFL National Football League Draft of football players is happening right now this week. So the timing of this message is pretty spot on. But basically what happens is Dawn Smith, our director of publishing, spends an entire year reading well over 100 books, trying to select the top choice works of literature for you to share with your kids. We have a whole methodology for how we put this jigsaw puzzle together. So for instance, there are books that run all the way from August through May. And so we consider what we call the library of variety, the library of variety. So we want a variety of genres, nonfiction, poetry, graphic novels, and traditional fiction. Sometimes it's fantasy, sometimes it's historical fiction, sometimes it's just a contemporary novel. We also try to balance tone. So sometimes the books are really heart-wrenching and moving and deep and lead to philosophical discussions. Other times they are jaunty and hilarious. We try to put the jigsaw puzzle together so that over the course of the year, you have some shorter books, some longer books, some emotionally happy books, some emotionally challenging books, various genres. And then we also, in this library of variety, we look for a variety of representation. What do I mean by representation? I mean that a whole variety of people are represented in these books. Different ethnicities, different countries, different eras of history, different kinds of people. Sometimes a book will actually be populated with animals, right? So we are looking to expand the experience of being human by featuring a huge variety of different kinds of people as your main characters. But we're also interested in a variety of authors who come from all kinds of backgrounds, different than yours, similar to yours, just a whole group that will introduce you to other ways of thinking, other ways of being, other ways of experiencing this shared journey we call life. When do we roll out these amazing book titles? We do it on June 1st and June 2nd. So June 1st, we're going to pick up a book and hold it up and tell you all 10 titles for the Dart, which is for ages 8 to 10, and the Arrow, which is 11 and 12. These will happen at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. And those books will be presented to you in sort of an hour length, ta-da, book reveal. We always invite you to come with your children. And here's the reason. When kids are a part of this book reveal, they get excited about the coming year. I describe the book in advance and I make you guess in the chat and then I reveal the book. So your kids end up feeling like they're a whole part of what the program is going to be for the coming year. In fact, it's not uncommon for us to hear from parents that their kids later that day said, "Oh, can we get the books now? I really want to read that one." So if you want them to feel invested in the coming year, bring them on June 1st to this book reveal that will be on Facebook and also on Zoom. We have sent out the registration links by email. I'll tell you how to get on that list in case you didn't get them yet. You do not have to register if you're watching on Facebook Live. You can just show up live. So that's the Dart and the Arrow on June 1st. Then on June 2nd, we're going to reveal the books for the Boomerang and the Slingshot. These would be your high school students. And I, again, strongly urge you to invite your teens to be a part of that experience because they are going to get a glimpse of the treasures that they will be investigating and exploring through literature in the coming year. So mark your calendars, June 1, June 2nd, and I really hope that you will come along and be a part of those book reveals. Now, I have only been on this live for 10 minutes. I am happy to take a couple of questions if you have them. While you're formulating them, let me give you an overview of what our literature and mechanics programs are so that you get a feel for what we do. Brave Writer believes that you learn the mechanics of literature best in the context of good writing. In other words, if you want your child to be a good speller, to use grammar correctly, to understand the role of punctuation in communication, to get a sense of how literary devices empower writing, we want to use quality literature as our models. So what we do is we take a book for the month, and then each week of the month, we select a passage. And we invite you and your kids to use that passage for copy work or dictation. Inside your literature single, the month-long program that goes with the book, we give you notes, explanations about why this punctuation mark is valuable, or how this literary device created more power in the writing, or what to expect of the spellings in this one passage. By doing that, you are introducing your kids to the mechanics of language through this organic, inductive approach. Rather than just a bunch of sentences that are randomly created to teach a lesson, your kids are learning punctuation and spelling and grammar the same way they learn to talk, in the context of meaning-rich communication. So by using our program, you are actually encouraging a natural development in the arena of the mechanics of writing. Here's the other thing you may not know. The people who write our programs for us are all professional writers. They are people who have been published because they are high quality writers themselves. So this does not read like a teacher's manual. It doesn't read like a program. It reads like a conversation with your best girlfriend who happens to homeschool and is a published writer. And that person is just sharing coffee and exchanging ideas and giving you these body experiences to teach the mechanics of writing. For instance, if we're going to teach you about commas, we're not going to list a bunch of rules. We're going to get your kids playing with commas, moving them around, using them incorrectly, listening to how it sounds when you include them and exclude them. If we're going to teach you about prepositions, we're going to have your child grab a chair and you're going to start saying prepositional words to them, and they're going to act those out with the chair. On, under, beyond, below, next to, beside. And as you start using these tools with your kids, you're going to discover that they start generating the meaning for themselves. And then you're going to write me these amazing messages that I get all the time. And you're going to say things like, my daughter just came and told me, Mom, look at this M dash in the book I'm reading. Or, Mom, I think this is alliteration. And it will happen spontaneously because this will be a natural part of how they understand their native language, English. Now, I'm getting a question on Instagram asking if the Slingshot with the longer books and has older ages will be different than our Dart, Arrow, and Boomerang. They won't really fundamentally be different. The main difference is when you're reading a heavier, longer book, sometimes a book club party like we might create for, Mr. Popper's Penguins for the Dart is just not as appropriate for the Slingshot level. So what we are going to give you at that level are book club guidelines, things you can do if you gathered a little cluster of 6 of your friends and you had a book wrap in your living room over brownies, okay? So there will be some suggestions for engaging in a literature discussion in a group, but it will not be the same thing as, make a penguin out of cotton balls, if that makes sense. But the analysis, the depth, the insight into literary analysis that we do for both the Boomerang and the Slingshot are dead on what you'll be looking for that high school level of instruction. Tina asks, can I get these new books with the Brave Learner group before the end of this month? Tina, thank you for bringing this up. So now I'm going to break the other news. Starting in June, these new book lists, if you subscribe to a year-long program, will get you into the Brave Learner home. We did this last year, and we saw it as so successful, and we so want to honor the fact that many of you already own our tools and materials. If you purchase a new year-long Dart, Arrow, or Boomerang program, you will automatically be added into the Brave Learner home. If you decide you want the slingshot does not cost as much. You will need to purchase the $198 threshold amount, which we've been running for the whole year. So the good news is we are rolling this offer forward because it has been so successful. So the truth is, you do not have to buy a bundle by the end of May in order to get the same offerings that we had in June and beyond June this past year. We are continuing with that amazing opportunity. You can purchase it in June. Tina, it's going to come out in June, and we are going to allow you to purchase it and be added to the Brave Learner Home starting in June. So you are all set to go. How do we weave together the partnership writing program with the DART? If you are a bundle user and you have already purchased a bundle, you have been added to our community called the Brave Learner Home. And in that community, we have a section called Start Your Journey. Click on that and you will go inside to the level that your students are, whether they're beginning writers or growing writers or advanced writers. And I have given you guidance on how to bring partnership writing and the DART together. We also have a how to use this bundle file that comes with your program that should be able to be downloaded from your email. If you've lost it or didn't download it or forgot about it, please contact us at help@bravewriter.com. But I did a full hour-long video explaining how the bundles work together at every level inside the Brave Learner Home. And if you bought a bundle in the last year, you have already been added to that space. You just need to log in and go to Start Your Journey. Let's see. Can I use the DART books as read alouds for a child younger than 8? 1,000%. I want to let you know that my family had 5 kids, and they were 9 years apart in the full age span. And whatever I was doing with my older kids, my younger kids were automatically a part of it. If there was a book that I felt was a little bit too sensitive for those younger kids, I'd put them in front of Mary Poppins up on my bed and let them watch the Disney film while I read the book. The DART books are delightful. They are not traumatic. They will be fine for anyone under 8, no problem. Somebody asked, will we have a program for 5 to 8-year-olds? And we are working on it. It will not be available this year, but trust me, we know you want one, and we are designing it. There's only so much we can do in a year, so just know that that is coming. One of the things that Tristan is pointing out on Instagram is that our program releases monthly. So think of it like a magazine. Instead of getting, hundreds of pages of programming for an entire year, all on the first day, and then you just get overwhelmed and you feel behind all the time. No, each month we release 1 month's worth of content. So you go, you download your 40 to 50 page document, and you use as much of it as you can that month. Just like you don't use every idea in a magazine, you use as many as you want that month. And then when that month's over, a brand new one comes into your login screen, and you can download that one and just move right along. Here's why that's really valuable. If for some reason you don't complete a month, if you had all the months at the same time, you would tend to think, oh, well, I have to give up, or I have to finish this month before I can go on. But because we release it once a month, you actually feel permission to sort of set aside what you didn't complete and hop on board with the new thing. And guess what? If you do that all year, your kids are going to get a fantastic education. You don't have to worry about it because we've already designed it to circle back around, to spiral through all of the various skills and concepts that your kids need to learn. Someone asked if this program can be used in a co-op setting. Absolutely. The only thing you need to know is that it is a copyrighted product. So you cannot buy one single copy and then photocopy it for the whole co-op. If you want them to own their own copies, they need to purchase them. But if you want to use it as a teacher's guide and stand in front of the room and teach the lessons without providing the physical copy to your students, then you only need one, and you're more than welcome to do that. Will this past year's book bundles go away? Yes, they will. So at the end of May, on May 30th, this year's bundles will stop featuring this year's book lists. However, all the books inside those book lists, all those darts, arrows, boomerangs that go with those books will be available for single issue purchase inside of the Brave Writer store. So if there's a specific book that you really want to read and you want the guide that goes with it, the single issue that goes with it, you will be able to get it. In fact, they're all already there now. So you can buy them as a bundle and get the discount now, or you can buy them individually based on the titles you want. Yay, good, good, good. That was an excellent question, by the way. All right, any others? I think we may be at the end. So let me recap. Tristan Strong is coming out as an Arrow, and that will be on June 1st, and it will be brand new. It is exactly the kind of book that you will enjoy reading over the summer. We will announce all the new books on June 1st and June 2nd at 4 p.m. Somebody is asking for an example of a type of book that would be a slingshot. You know, something like Pride and Prejudice, just a little bit meatier, a little bit more substantial. They will be a mixture of modern and, well-known titles that people expect to see at that level. I am not going to say any more because I might accidentally tell you one, and I would hate to preempt the big reveal by saying it accidentally. Can I mix and match single book guides from the past year and the current year? Yes, you can. In fact, each individual issue, as it comes out, is also put in the literature singles part of our store on the sales page. That said, they're more expensive. So if you buy them as a group, it's, $129, and you would end up saving $20 overall for all 10. If you buy them individually, they are $14.95. And the slingshots are a little more expensive because they're harder to write and they're longer. So I hope that makes things clear. All right, well, I'm going to wind up because I didn't want this to get too long. Thank you for joining me on a Saturday. Go have a beautiful afternoon, watch the Kentucky Derby. And I really hope we see you on June 1st and June 2nd. And please get the word out. That helps us so that we reach as many people as possible. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Happy to see all your beautiful, posts and hearts and thumbs ups. They mean the world to us. Have a great day.